Hey everybody, it's Father Casey, the pastor of epiphanychurch.church, welcoming you once again to our YouTube channel, The Fourth Magi. Can you imagine being dead? What would it be like to be dead for 4 days? This week in the gospel, Jesus is told by messenger that his good friend Lazarus, remember Lazarus, his sisters Martha and Mary, Mary was sitting at his feet, Martha was doing all the work. Well, Lazarus is gravely ill. Now, you would think that as a good friend, Jesus would be like, whoa, we better get back there. But what you and I know about Jesus is that Jesus doesn't need to go anywhere to heal anyone. And so he stays another 2 days where he's at, the disciples. And he explains to them, like, this is going to be a really great thing where God's glory is going to come through. He's not just, he's going to die, but he's really asleep. And it's got to be pretty weird because when Jesus finally gets to Bethany, where Lazarus is living and where he was living, and Martha and Mary live, that he's already dead. He's been dead for 4 days. And what I always think about in this gospel is like, think about it from Lazarus's point of view. All right, Lazarus has been dead for 4 days, gone through the whole dying process, surrounded by friends, family. He's dead. What happened? Did he go see the light? Did he see all his loved ones? I mean, time-wise, what's he been doing for 4 days in the afterlife? Because this is not a resurrection in the sense where Jesus brings him back to life and he's got a glorified body. No, Lazarus is going to die again. So he's been dead for 4 days. He comes back. Who knows, probably feels, nobody knows because he doesn't say anything. We don't get to hear from Lazarus what happened, what it was like, what it's like now. But the whole point of the story is that Jesus has the power, like there's no doubt about it. He was dead 4 days. He was buried. He was wrapped up in a shroud. He was stuck in a tomb, and he was dead. In fact, they were all worried that he was going to stink when they rolled the stone away because he's probably started to decompose. They didn't have funeral directors then that, put formaldehyde in the body and all that happy stuff. So Jesus has made sure that everybody here knows that Lazarus was dead, 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 dead. And what happens? He calls him out. Lazarus, come out. It's almost like The Price is Right. Come on down. Do do do. So anyway, Lazarus comes out of the tomb, and Jesus says, unwrap him. And the whole point is that Jesus is the Messiah. He is Lord of the living and the dead. But what is really shocking about this is that even though he has done this, now imagine you are now one of the disciples and you have witnessed this. They roll the stone back, and Lazarus comes out wrapped in a shroud like the mummy. And it's got to be mind blowing. People's minds should have been completely blown. And yet, where's the faith when Jesus needs them most? Like, if there's any doubt in your mind at this point of who Jesus is, then there should be no more doubts after the fact that Jesus just raised somebody from the dead. That's never been done before. It's not like they put paddles on Lazarus and brought him back. No, it just simply called him out of the tomb. I mean, this is the Messiah. This is the one. And yet, when push comes to shove, when the time comes, they all run away. The fear is greater than their faith, which is, that's not the message that the church wants to convey this week. That's the message that I think about. Okay, the church in this gospel, because over the past few weeks, we've seen this development of faith. Woman at the well, who's now a sinner. The man born blind, who's healed. He now sees. He was blind, now he sees. and now this one is dead and he's come back to life. I mean, that's the whole point. That's what the Messiah is supposed to do. And now he's got all the evidence here. He's got all of the job description. And yet they don't have the faith after the fact. And it just completely blows my mind. And we approach Holy Week, when Jesus is going to be arrested and go on trial, and they can't seem to remember, like, wow, this is the Messiah. Oh my goodness. And then fight for him or die for him or do something except run away. And they don't, So I get, for us, for you and for me, where have we seen God working in our lives? That's undeniable. Like, you know what? This is God. I've got my experiences. I know that. I hope that you do. If you've been paying attention, even a smidgen, that God is in your life and he's performing miracles, you know, and if you just have to pay attention. And if you haven't been paying attention, so maybe this week, pay attention to how God works in your life, in the lives of others, in the world. I know you can look at the news and you can think, oh, where is God in all this war and famine and death and sickness happening to children? Yes, you can do that. But there's a whole other explanation, homily about that. But there are a lot of amazing things happening in the world as well if we simply pay attention. So this week, pay attention.